Let's talk about intention in shamanism and why it's so important. It is an all important topic. We'll talk about intent, what it is, and why it's important. And I'm going to give you a tip on how to use it in your day to day life, even if you have no training as a shamanic person. And hopefully, it'll be of great use to you. My name is John Moore. I am a shamanic teacher and practitioner from the state of Maine in the US. And welcome to intention. So, when I was coming up in shamanism, when I was learning shamanism, I was in training. My first learning experience was an apprenticeship. I didn't really start the normal way with taking some intro classes or something like that. I jumped into an apprenticeship. My teacher was, gratefully accepted me into her apprenticeship. She always used to say, when we were learning how to do a shamanic journey, if you don't know what shamanic journeying is, I've got lots of videos about that and what that is. It's the main practice of shamanism. She always used to say, and still probably does say, although she's retiring from teaching this year, intention drives the bus. What does that mean? Intention drives the bus. Well, when you perform a journey, so if you don't know, you can think of it as a very active meditation. It involves an altered state of consciousness, and we're doing stuff during that time. Holding a very clear intention is a key to successful journeying. Success is a weird thing because usually we measure success, right? Like, I invest $100 in a company and I make $30 back. That is a success. I've measured it. I've got $30 worth of success. In spiritual terms, success is a little hard to measure, but basically, I think all journeys are successful because every time you journey, you get a healing, you get more connected to spirit. However, the purpose of the journey, is it fulfilled? Is what you were trying to do, did that occur? Did that happen? Did you get the information you were looking for? Did you perform the healing that you were intending? So intention is, in this case, what we're talking about is holding a purpose in mind with very intensely. The purpose is, what is this journey for? What am I doing this for? Okay, so maybe it's to gather information, or maybe it's to provide a healing, or maybe it's just to meet my helping spirits, or to do something. I know people who do this sort of free form journeying where they just journey to journey, and that's okay. But in general, I always have a really strong intention when I'm journeying. So when I journey on behalf of clients, the first thing I do is called a diagnostic journey, which the intention behind that is, I go to my helping spirits. The intention is, show me the work that I could do today for this client that will be most beneficial to them. And then I'll get a sense of what that is, and I'll do some other things, then I'll come back and have a chat with them. So holding that intention, and we say intention drives the bus, we mean it's steering. It's steering and it's applying the gas and the brake. Now the engine behind the journey is the rhythm that drives the trance. It's the altered state. It's, whatever method you're using to get into altered state provides the power, the raw power for you to journey, but your ability to accomplish stuff is based on your intent. And so intent is all important. And developing your intent, also we might describe intent as willpower. What am I willing to happen, and how strongly can I hold that in mind as I'm, going through an altered state of consciousness and traveling in spirit form? Can I hold on to that intent? And so, that sometimes takes a little bit of practice. I get better all the time, and I've been doing this for years and years and years. One of the things I love about shamanism is there's no end to the learning. There's no end to getting better. But this is a very basic, very cornerstone of shamanism. Now, I would say that we could argue back and forth about whether shamanism is a form of magic. And it depends on how you want to describe magic. And I'm not talking about prestidigitation, pulling things from a hat, sleight of hand, card magic, whatever. I'm not talking about that type of magic. I'm talking about, um, you know, the type of magic where we're using spiritual means to cause change. And there are different definitions of that. And, Aleister, the infamous magician Aleister Crowley, his definition was causing change in accordance with will. It's pretty straightforward. So will, we're always talking about will, willpower, intention. He's talking about the true will, which is your path, the path that you're on, but causing change in accordance with will. So under that definition, shamanism is a form of magic, and that we're using spiritual means to cause change. It can be a change in consciousness, but it can also be a change in the physical world, like when we do healing or locate lost objects or whatever it is, communicate with animals. We're causing stuff to happen in accordance with our willpower. So um, I would probably, say, and I can be on the fence about this too a little bit, that shamanism is a type of magic. It's not ceremonial magic. It's not Solomonic magic. It's not Wicca. It's its own thing. But it is causing change using the willpower, using intent. And so, in that respect, intention is a really important component in any kind of magic. What is the purpose of the work that you're doing? Now, I know that in ceremonial magic, sometimes people kind of don't really understand what they're doing and they go through the paces. Um, I'm not going to give away any secrets here, but I became a Freemason when I was 21, as early as I possibly could, and what a really amazing experience that is, participating in ancient ritual. And I take my oaths, and absolutely take any spiritual oaths you give, take them very seriously. That's important stuff. I'll do a whole video about spiritual oaths in the near future. Maybe it'll be the next one I do. I don't know. So I'm not going to give away any secrets, but I will say, and this is not a secret, not a surprise, but there are a lot of rituals involved with Freemasonry. There's almost nothing done before there is ritual, and it's a very important part of it. That being said, my experience is that there aren't a whole lot of people who are participating in those rituals with a strong understanding of the intent behind each component of the ritual. There's so much secrecy in Freemasonry, like everything is written in cipher form. I mean, of course, you can now go buy books online and read everything that was considered secret many, many years ago. And every lodge operates differently, a little bit differently, and it's definitely different from state to state, because I've been to lodges in other states, particularly Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. I think those are the other states I've been to lodge at. And I'm sure it's really, really different in other countries as well. But, one of the things that I had sort of wishes for with Freemasonry is understanding more behind the ritual, and understanding the intent behind it, so that when I participate in ritual, I know what the intention is and I can hold that intent. Some of the intentions are quite obvious out in the open, but some of them are so hidden even from members that it's a little hard to grok. So if you're doing any kind of spiritual work, and I actually include prayer as a form of magic, and I realize that may sound sacrilegious to some people, but just, let's just, take the word magic, take the, I don't have a better word for it. And the word magic comes from the word magi, which is, we're Zoroastrian priests, but also the three wise men who, in the Bible came to see the birth, witness it was some time after the birth of Jesus, and bring gifts and all of these things. Um, those magi were magicians. They were holy people, and so there's this sort of disconnect where anything spiritual, holy, godlike in some religions is apart from the magic. But I can tell you there is Jewish magic and mysticism, there's Christian magic and mysticism, there is Islamic magic and mysticism. So all of the, there's Buddhist, so there is this part in every religious belief system. So I believe that prayer, when held with a strong intention, is a form of magic. I'm praying for, very frequently, sometimes people pray just to pray, and that's fine. That is an intention. Or the intention is to feel closer to God, or the intention is to, um, you know, praise, praise your deity, which is an important part of your practice, and that's fine. But very frequently, prayer is done to evoke deity, to ask for favors or intervention, ask for healing, ask for help through a difficult situation. So you're using spiritual methods, prayer, appeal to deity, to accomplish, to make change in physical reality. So by strict definition, prayer is a form of magic. And um, I believe that prayer works better when you hold a strong intention. I'm not an expert in prayer, but you know, intention's really, really key. So one thing, so I promised I would teach you something, even if you don't practice anything. But you do have to believe in spirit. Well, actually, belief isn't even all that important. People will tell you that belief is supremely important, only to the extent that it affects your intention, right? So if I don't believe that spirit is real, well, my intention when I journey, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go meet these spirits, but I think this is all hogwash. Like, that's going to affect the outcome. So in that way, belief is important, but um, its specific belief is less important to me. It might be important to you, and that's fine if you are, for example, a religious person. Having those beliefs are important to you. That's great, and I'm not trying to say that's wrong or bad or anything. Criticize that at all. Not That's not my intention. I'm just saying, for this stuff to work, specific beliefs aren't as important as intention. Some beliefs are important, but still not as important as intention. So I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you a secret. I'm going to teach you a really. I'm going to teach you a hidden, in plain sight technique for doing magic, and it doesn't involve deity or anything, and it pretty much just involves your mind and your intention, and using your intention to change things, to change reality, to change not just your consciousness, but to do things to change physical reality. Um, and it takes a little bit of practice, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. So this is a practice that I learned about in a class on Scandinavian folk magic, which is fantastic stuff. But regardless, this is not even really a part of that system. I just happened to learn about it during that class. Um, and that is the practice of dedicated action. And dedicated action in this case means attaching an intention to something that you do And it does not even have to be related. The intention doesn't have to be related. And I'll give you an example which will make this much clearer. So let's say I have there's something I want to happen in reality, in physical reality. I shouldn't say reality because the spiritual world is very real to me. We'll say in the material world, in this reality, in ordinary reality, there's something I want to do. So I will carry out actions, and I will put intention behind those actions. And again, they don't have to be related. So an example might be, let's say, I want to find a new job, you know, um, and so I'm going to do the things. This isn't to say you shouldn't do the ordinary reality things. I'm going to do the things like, polish my resume and look at job listings and apply for stuff and whatever. But I want to give it a little push. I want to give it a little spiritual push. I want to make things go in my favor. And so what I will do is carry out some actions in my day-to-day life and use intention to dedicate those actions to my goal. So let's say I'm going to get up from where I'm sitting and I'm going to walk to the other side of the house. Before I do that, I will say I'm dedicating this walk to the energy of finding a new job, I know it sounds weird. It becomes there's a real disconnect, right? They're not related, me walking across the house. It's the intention combined with action that sends these consciousness ripples through the web of reality, tugs on the strings of the web, waves the web in the air, causing these ripples and waves to go out to shift reality to what I need to do. Now, magic in my brain is about affecting probabilities. And so if I say, I'm dedicating walking across the room to becoming the next president of the United States, well, the probability of that is so slim, especially since have no interest in politics whatsoever. It's so slim that it would be really, really hard to manifest that through spiritual means alone. And there's a lot of things like that. And that's why I say you need to do the ordinary reality actions combined. Like if you're looking for a new job, and you don't apply for jobs anywhere, just doing magical actions might help that come to fruition. Like you might stumble upon somebody offering you a job or something like that, but it's less likely. And so, having dedicated action combined with ordinary reality, combined with inspired action. So inspired action means I'm using spirit to say, I'm going to look for a job here. I'm going to do this to my resume. I'm going to put this intention out into the universe. But I'm having this magical action, this dedicated action. And when you do that, the action that you're doing that is unrelated to the goal, but carries the intention, carries that dedication, the willpower. This is just using, again, intention drives the bus, and the physical action that I'm doing, and it should be a physical action because we're about aligning body, mind, and spirit here, is a little bit of an engine. It adds the energy to the action. So then the action becomes a ritual. And there are obviously prescribed rituals for doing certain things, and gazillions of them in the universe for doing different things. And those are great. If you do ritual with no intention, though, it's just aimless. So holding intention and doing a prescribed ritual makes it even more powerful. But you can turn ordinary actions into ritual when you have dedicated action. And when you do dedicated action over and over again, eventually you're really putting out into the universe, into spiritual, into the ether, into the etheric and astral planes, you're starting to align the planes a lot more, the mental, the causal, the astral, the etheric, and getting things working for you. You're changing probabilities. um, give it a try, because it doesn't cost anything, it doesn't take anything away, and you don't have to change your belief system. If you subscribe to a particular religious belief, there should be nothing that I'm aware of that prevents you from doing this, because you're not doing anything that is worshiping another deity or invoking or anything like that. You're just using your intention. You're using your mental energy. And that's, as far as I know, maybe it's not okay, but you'll know better than I do. But I'm not aware of any set of beliefs where that would be problematic. And so you can give this a try, and it's a little form of magic, and you can do this repeatedly, right? So doing something once like this might not be enough to change the probability enough to realize the results, or it might. It depends on how probable something is. But dedicated action. And if you do practice some form of magic, whether that's ceremonial magic or Wicca or Druidry or anything else, I'm certainly not aware of everything out there. Hoodoo, voodoo, shamanism. I'm at a loss for listing the forms of magic that I know about. But if you are doing magic, don't try. Do or do not. There is no try. I'm quoting Yoda now. Bring your intention into what you're doing as strongly as possible. Develop the will. The more you practice with intention, the stronger your will gets. And I'm talking about magical will here, not willpower like I can resist cheesecake. That's a different kind of willpower. This is magical will. This is what I want, like having what I want take place, having my path cleared so that I'm following my true path. All right. I hope that's helpful. I hope that clarifies things. Intention, incredibly important in the practice of shamanism, but also in almost anything else that you're going to do on a spiritual basis, from prayer to magic to worship to whatever, to even giving offerings. When you give offerings, you should give with intent as well. With that, I will leave you. Please subscribe to my channel. Check me out on social media. I'm everywhere. If you go to my website, I have a free app you can download that has all of my videos, all of my podcasts, all of my articles, and a bunch of extra stuff, drum tracks and stuff like that. And it's free, and there's no advertising, and I'm not selling anything through it. So anyway, that's it for now, and I will talk to you real soon.